Hey guys, this is Gundam Freedom, and today I'll be doing a review on the 10144 No Grade Tallgeese II. Just like my Tallgeese 1 review, this was originally the Tallgeese 3, just changed the head to make it into the Tallgeese 2. So all of it is all molded in white, including the polycaps. So I have to change the polycaps into the gray ones. And then I changed the hands into high grade hands, and I changed the foot the same as what I did to the Tallgeese 1. I used a high grade Leo to use into the foot of the Tallgeese. And then other modifications is the booster packs on the back. Originally are on the shoulders, so I transferred them into the back. I also changed the dauber gun from the original plastic dauber gun into a high grade or a 3D printed dauber gun. It's much detailed and much thicker than the original plastic dauber gun that the no grade comes with. And then I painted it into the colors of the Tallgeese 2, which is all blue on the backpack, on the chest, on the skirts and the shoulders, and then yellow for the chest vents and the mohawk, and then some details on the head like the orange on the back of the head and the red tear-like details on the face, and then some gray on the missiles on the chest. The Tallgeese 2 comes with its original shield. This was originally the Tallgeese 1 shield. I just painted it blue, and then gray for the details here, the square details on the inside of the shield, as well as the connector piece I also painted blue. The inside here is painted blue and then gray, and the beam saber handles are painted blue because originally in the Tallgeese 2 they were blue, and the storage rack for the beam sabers are colored gray as well. As for mobility, there's a connector piece here that goes up and down and rotate on the shoulder. And then there's another polycap hinge here on the inside of the shield, which makes it go out, in and out, and then rotate all the way like so. And then there's a handle here that can rotate. If it's still using the original polycap hands, it can hold the shield no problem in the hand, but since I changed it into the high grade hands, it cannot hold the shield anymore, so it's just hanging on its shoulder when it's not in use. So yeah. Next up is the beam saber. So this was originally the beam saber of the Tallgeese 3. I just painted the handle blue here, and then I cut out the beam effect part from the no grade, and then I changed it into the clear pink beam that comes with the high grade versions of the wing line. So I glued it in the end of the handle here, and now it has a clear pink beam effect part. And as for holding the beam saber, the Tallgeese 2 doesn't have any problems because the hand is big enough, or the hole in the hand is big enough to hold the beam saber just like so. And then last accessory is the dauber gun. So this dauber gun is a 3D printed dauber gun because I didn't use the no grade dauber gun for this one, because the details and the thickness of the no grade dauber gun is a bit lacking. And then so I decided to just ask a friend to 3D print for me a dauber gun, which is much detailed and much thicker and looks more menacing than the original no grade dauber gun. As for movement, the handle here, the secondary handle, can move down and up because it's on a ball joint here on the end of the barrel. Originally the handle was here on the dauber gun, so I moved it outside here. I just glued a plastic plate here on the end of the gun, and then I attached the handle here on the bottom so that it can hold it away from the shoulder, because if I still use the original handle, the whole gun will be clashing with the shoulder when it's attached to the arm. So it's much better to move the handle away from the gun so that it can use it while it's still not clashing on the shoulder armor. So for connecting it on the Tallgeese, there's a connector here, which is I attached a peg here on the gun, which can rotate and go in and out. And then there's the polycap here, which attaches on the shoulder, which can go up and down and rotate as well. And then I also added another dobber gun, which is a shorter version, a shorter barrel version of the dobber gun. As you can see here, it's much shorter than the original dobber gun. This is for the pose wherein the Tallgeese is holding the dobber gun on the base here, and then its hands are like this. So I will be showing that pose in the end of this review. So yeah. And another added accessory is a pair of open palm hands for that specific pose that I said earlier. The Tallgeese II has a single ball jointed neck, which lets the head go down about that far and then up that far, which is much better than the Tallgeese I, because the Tallgeese I cannot even move the head up and down because of the shape of the head that's hitting the collar here. And it can also go side to side a little bit and rotate all the way around. For the shoulders, it's on a peg here connecting onto the body here, which can rotate all the way around. And then the shoulder armor is separate from the shoulder joint, which lets it go up and down on its own. And then for the whole arm, it can go out about that far because the shoulder armor is hitting the torso here, so it cannot go all the way up further, because if the shoulder armor is not here, it can move much higher than it can. And then there's no bicep swivel because it's fixed. The ball armor here and the bicep is connected with each other, but there's a polycap joint here which rotates on the elbow, and it can also bend in a single joint. And then the wrist is on a typical ball joint, which can rotate and wiggle around. For the torso, since this is originally the Tallgeese III mold, it has a stomach joint which can move forward about that far and then go back about that far. It can go side to side that far and can rotate a little bit on the ball joint here inside the torso. And then the peg joint here inside the lower body can rotate about that far because the stomach piece is hitting the back skirt here on the back. As for the thruster pods, originally they were connected on the shoulder armor here. So what I did is I transferred them into the back of the body. So what I did the same technique that I did for the Tallgeese I. So there's a joint here on the upper joint which can move in and out, and then there's a ball joint here on the top which can let the booster or the thruster part go up and down and side to side. And then there's a polycap joint here which connects the ball joint into the onto the thruster pods, which can rotate a little bit. And then the thruster pods itself, the fins here on the outside can move out, and it can move together with the cover of the thrusters, and both sides can open up and reveal thrusters inside. There's no front skirts, the back skirts doesn't move, they're fixed pose here, and the side skirts are connected with the leg. So the hip joint is on a ball joint, so it can move up about that far, then go back about that far, and go out about that far because the side skirt here is hitting the waist area here. And there's also a little bit of in and out movement because of the ball joint. The knee joint can bend about that far, even with modifying the leg here, removing some of the armor here on the knee. It still cannot bend much further than this one. And then for the ankles, it's on a ball joint which lets the foot go down and up about that far, and then side to side and rotate about that far. Here is the Tallgeese II next to the Tallgeese I, and as you can see, the only difference is the head and the color scheme. Both of them share the same body and same accessories. as per usual from the Tallgeese. And then here it is also next to the Tallgeese III. As you can see, it's all white with just blue accents, and you can really tell the difference between the three of them because the Tallgeese III has a newer head and added shoulder armors, as well as newer accessories like the shield and the buster cannon here. Overall, it's a great kit despite its age. If you use the Tallgeese III mold for making either the Tallgeese I or the Tallgeese II, you can have a much better Tallgeese because of the added articulation on the waist area. And painting it is no problem because all of the white parts are already white, so you only need to paint the parts that don't need to be white, like the blue parts and the weapons and accessories. Other details like the double gun, using 3D printing for weapons is a great alternative if you don't have or it's hard to find the weapons, because originally the Leo is a bit hard to find right now and it's a bit expensive on some stores because of its market value. So I decided on just having a 3D printed double gun, which is much detailed than the normal no-grade double gun. That's it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!